If I'd put the little switch right there on start, it might start. Look at there. Cold natured. It ain't been started up about 8 weeks. Alright guys, now that we got the big Maruyama BH24G hedge trimmer fired up, we finna do some garden cleanup today. And the first thing I'm gonna do is get over here and I'm finna get these muscadine vines, and this is what I use. Now I probably ain't gonna do all my hand pruning today. I'm just getting the big stuff whacked off so I can clean it out of the garden. Then next we're gonna get the tractor out here, and this year my inside in-ground garden plot over there, we're gonna pull everything out, till it in, just let it set over winter, probably put some compost on it, till it in good, and then I'll get y'all a little update on what's going on in the garden here in December. Now, ain't much going on in my garden. I think we had our first frost, which was actually a freeze, the day after Thanksgiving. And then almost every night since then, it's been 32 to 29 degrees. So about all I got is my red Russian kale, some of my little cabbage, with some of my baby cabbage is getting ready to harvest now. My asperbrock broccoli, I've been harvesting off it. Yesterday I cut all the heads off it. My Swiss chard says it's good down to about 20 degrees. Well, not down here in the south. These 3 nights just around 32 and 29 degrees has put the hurting on it. It's laid down over there. But anyway, I'd already cleaned my pepper plants out, my tomato plants out, and my okra plants. I already cut them off one day when I had a few minutes. I run out here and cut them and hauled them out. I got me some new onions started, but we'll look at all that in a moment. I'm gonna get over here and show y'all how I whack my muscadine vines off. I just whack them off, and then I'll come back, take more time with the scissors and snip them off how I want them. Now when I do this every year, I don't take no big time and effort into this. I just go down through there, and as long as I'm staying about 6 inches off of that main vine, I cut everything off. And like I said, then I come back with my snips and snip them up and pretty them up the way I want them. Again, you got to put these things on start to start. Still had a little cluster of muscadine. Alright guys, that right there is how you quickly get your muscadine vines cleaned up. Now I got all winter to come out here a little at a time. It takes time. It takes a lot of time to come out here with your hand snips, and I snip these off about 4 to 6 inches long. So that's why it don't matter how boogered up they are from the hedger, 'cause I'm gonna snip them off. Then I'm gonna snip them out and space them out how I want them. You see that right there? That there is actually run. I'll snip it off short That's a long one I didn't get with the hedger just then, but you come back, and this year I'm actually gonna thin mine out a little more. Like last year, you see I left this, this, and this. This year I take that one out. Cause I'm still getting more muscadines than I want, and it wasn't but a couple of people come picked all they wanted. I think when we got done this year, stopped picking, that ain't when the muscadines got done. When we got done, we was getting up there close to 50 gallons off these two little short rows. So I'm gonna space mine out a little more. Maybe they'll make bigger clusters, bigger muscadines, because I ain't needing that many muscadines, and it's done getting them where I had one person, oh yeah, they was gonna come pick them. They was gonna keep them picked. I think they showed up one time. I guess they thought I was gonna have them picked for them when they got here, but they didn't come back no more. So after that point, they just sat out here and fell off on the ground. Birds eat them. But I have seen people that would spend hours out here instead of taking a set of hedgers and just trimming that mess off and get it cleaned up out of the way. They would spend hours with them little hedgers cutting all that mess out of the way, them little snips. Ain't no sense in that if you got a set of hedgers, because like I said, you're going to come back pretty these ends up, so it don't matter if it buggered them up like it did that right there. You're going to cut out behind that anyway. So go on and get that mess. And that's what I'm wanting to do, get the big mess cleaned up out of my garden. And then over the winter, as I have time, I can just, a few minutes at a time, just say I take a section. 3 or 4 days later, I want to do a little more. Take my time doing that, because it's not important as long as you get it before the spring gets here. I like to have mine done before February, to tell you the truth, but we'll get them. Now the next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna get over here in this in-ground splat. And I gotta get all these T-posts out, these cages, that arch. And I don't know, I'm probably gonna leave my tall pole with my wire on it. I'm gonna leave it over there. I cut the fabric behind it, and I can till between it. I'm gonna pull all this mess up, because I don't want to have to take them tall posts down. They so tall. These are so tall, I actually welded 2 T-posts together and then got on a ladder and drove these with a hand driver. But I think I can take this ground fabric right back here about 1 foot behind it, 2 foot, because I'm going to leave this over here to keep grass from growing. Even if I put the new laft over the top, I ain't gonna pull that up, because I won't have to move them pots or nothing. And I can till enough between them so when I put my new fabric down to lay it back over there. But I ain't gonna put new fabric down till next spring. I'm just getting all this mess ripped out of here today. So I'm gonna go get my tractor, and we'll come back around here, and first I gotta start removing all this mess out of here. Now guys, I can't believe we done got up here in the first week of December, and I'm just now doing this. So last year on October the 15th, some people say we got a frost, but it was more than a frost, because my water hose out here was froze solid. So I had all this done before the end of October. This year, we didn't get freeze to kill my tomatoes and my okra and my peppers till the day after Thanksgiving, November the 29th. But I just took my header pipe up. Now I'm gonna remove my cages and my arches and my tomato sticks. Now on these tomato sticks, you see they right, so I don't even try to pull them up. Even if they don't snap easy, I snap them. Because when I run that tiller that's on that tractor through here, It'll bring them little pieces up, and when I see them, then I can pick them up instead of trying to work and get all them out right now. That's a pretty good post, but it ain't gonna pull out. See? I ain't gonna strain and hurt my back. I just break them off. Some of you think that's wasting tomato sticks, but I use them where I can use shoulder sticks, and then I'm going to use new ones next year because I want them as tall as I can get them where I use them. Now let's remove these cages. I done cut the wires. I think I got all the wires cut off the post. I put a T-post at all my tomato cages because can't remember what year it was, the hurricane. We got a lot of high winds off of it, and I had a big old tomato plant, beautiful. Come out here that morning and the whole cage plant and all was laid over. I ain't got but 4 cages and 2 arches to remove. See, I got ground staples drove in the bottom of them. I guess I got them drove in the bottom of these cages too. To get the tractor. If they didn't come up, I was just finna say I ain't gonna pull no harder. I was finna get the tractor forks and stick under them, lift them up. I'll give it one more little try with the pry bar. It don't come up. I have to get the tractor. I think I might get it up. Guys, this sure is funny. I got these so-called friends, you know. One of them we've been hunting here pretty hard, pretty lately. Then I got a couple more. They always call and they want to know about my hunting anyway. I think I talked to them this morning. They said, "What are you gonna do today?" I said, "Well, I gotta go to the doctor and get my blood work. Then I'm gonna come home and I'm gonna clean up this garden and start getting these posts and stuff out of it." That's all I had to say. You don't see neither one of them here, do you? They had something else they was doing today. They wasn't gonna come help you when you could actually use some help. Y'all got any friends like that? They don't want to come be no part of this, do they? Kind of like the one supposed to come pick the rest of them muscadine showed up one time. He called that morning. He said, "I just checking to see if you're home, see if you're ready. I was gonna come over and we can pick some muscadines." I thought to myself, I don't know why he said we, because I don't know what he misunderstood when I told him to come over here and he could pick all he wanted. He didn't say nothing about we gonna pick them. I just thought y'all might think that kind of stuff funny. All right. Watch out now, don't let me hit y'all with that cow panel. Now I know it's windy and y'all getting some wind noise, but the next thing we're gonna do is try to remove these T-posts. Now there's two things every gardener needs. That is a T-post driver and a T-post remover. There's no sense in trying to dry a T-post with a sledgehammer. And when it comes time to remove them, if you ain't got a tractor with a front end loader, this is the best thing to have. Now if these don't come out fairly easy, then I bring the tractor, but the thing is, tractor takes me longer because I got to get on, get off the tractor, hook the chain, pull it out, get back off, unhook the chain and all that. But these normally come up fairly well with this. See how easy that is? Ain't all that straining and wiggling and wobbling. Everybody should invest in one of these. Alright guys, the next step, I'm going to take me a razor blade knife and cut that fabric right down that side over there. And then I'm going to show y'all my new way of removing this ground fabric, because the drip irrigation that's under here is going to get replaced, so all of this mess is going to get thrown away. Now the first couple times I did is when I created that little pry bar I showed y'all where I could jab under them staples, pry them up, and removed all the staples and then rolled that mess up with hand. Well, that's a little rough on my back, so I come up with a new way. I can't remember if I showed y'all when I done it on my outside garden or not, but I got a way of getting it out of here easier than that. So let me go get my tool for the project. Now guys, that right there makes for easy gardening cleanup. Now when I till it, there'll be a few staples that's gonna come up, and then I can pick them up with hand, no big deal. Probably gonna be a few pieces of this drip tape. But that makes the garden cleanup just so much faster and easier. So guys, all I see right now is 7 ground staples. And there's a short piece of drip tape wrapped around my blade there. So I ain't got much. It's amazing, you would think when I'm ripping this ground fabric up that it would tear through them staples, but it pulls just about all of them out of the ground. Like I said, that's 7. Now I'm sure there's some more in the dirt, and I'm finna take my tractor and put the bucket on it and top dress this with some more compost. And then I'm gonna till it in. And even though it's December, I got some more turnip greens and mustard greens. I'm probably just gonna seed it. That way it kind of what I call a ground cover if it starts growing. I don't know if there grows according to how much frost and freezes we get, but I got extra seeds anyway. Throw that on there. But that's my gardening tips. But that's my gardening cleanup tips for you. Work smarter, not harder. Just like starting out with them muscadine vines. I use that hedger when I go to trim my blackberry vines. That way you get all that mess out your way, you get the biggest mess cleaned up, and then you can do the final work. It makes it so much quicker. And if you're into gardening and you don't have one of them, well, if you don't have a tractor, but I'm gonna stop right there. If you ain't got a tractor and you ever buy a tractor, I promise you, do not buy you a tractor without a front end loader. Don't do it. I did it years ago. Now I was raised, my dad always had a little tractor with a front end loader. So I was raised with one and knew better. But I bought me a little John Deere 790. Didn't have a front end loader on it. And that was the biggest mistake of my life. Because that front end loader will save you so much work. Just like when I get ready to clean this up, I run up here, stick them forks under it. I may have to take my hands, put that on top of them forks, and away to the burn pile it goes. It's just so much you can do with a tractor and a front end loader. Especially when you get a set of forks to go along with them. But again, if you ain't got a tractor, every gardener needs a T-post driver and a T-post puller. When you get older, you'll know. I've been going to chiropractor. I started out going 3 times a week last October. It's done been over a year now. Now I go about every 2 weeks. But you just got to learn to work smarter. Don't kill yourself. And there's also utilize the equipment you have. If you got a tractor, if it ain't got a front end loader, if you got a dirt bucket, you can turn it around with a dirt bucket and do the same thing. It take just a little bit longer, but you can use a dirt bucket and clean a garden up like this. But guys, that's it. Like I said, I'm gonna put a little compost on here, till this in, get my mess cleaned up, and it's about time for me to go get on the deer stand. And I hope y'all enjoyed this. Oh, let me show you what's in my garden real quick. I forgot. Ain't gonna take long to show y'all what's in my garden. That's the red Russian kale. And these mornings below 32 degrees here, about 4 mornings in a row, they ain't looking the perkiest theirself. Now, I ain't putting frost cover or nothing on them this year. Now my little baby mini cabbage heads here, there's 1, 2, 3 that probably can be harvested right there. Maybe 4. So these are baby cabbage heads. These don't get the big old cabbage heads. My asper broccoli, like I said, I just pruned off yesterday what was on it. But yeah, you can see this stuff may handle 15 and 20 degrees up north, but down here in the south in this cold weather with the high humidity, it don't handle the cold weather like they say up north. Nor the humans. Just like this Swiss chard right here. Look at that. It ain't been below 29 degrees yet, but now, like I said, we 4 mornings in a row. It ain't doing good at all. They say that'll handle down to 20 degrees, no problem. It might in another state up north where the humidity ain't so high. Then I had some late cabbage over here. We're probably gonna get a few little cabbage heads here, but they just gonna be extra small, but that's all right. Don't take much for me to make a slaw out of. This right here, I can't even remember what this was. Every time I look at it, I have to. It says early Jersey cabbage. We ain't trying to make no cabbage yet. And that's done been here way long enough. I don't know. That was some seed I was just trying. There's my turnip green patch that I planted the second time. Ain't looking so good. Right now when I want turnip greens, I go to my deer food plot. I got them planted earlier and they in the edge of a man's field. And yeah, they over knee high. So that's where I go when I want my mess of greens this year. Then I got my bed of onions here. And here come from Dixondale. I was worried about them. I don't like how late they ship out. I didn't get these till about November the 18th. And then we started getting these cold. I like mine in the ground earlier than that, but they don't ship out earlier than that, and nobody locally had any this year. But I got that bed and this bed, and today I'm probably going to throw a frost cover over them. Them ain't looking good at all. The last thing I got in my garden for the fall is prism kale. That's the best thing, looks the best. It handles the coldest weather in the south that I've ever planted. It does good in the cold and the heat, prism kale. And some good eating. Oh, I forgot, I need to get over there and cut my asparagus. It still got some green in it. I may wait later on and cut it down. I planted some radishes right there and had 4 cabbages on each corner. I don't know what the deal happened, but they didn't do good at all. Didn't do good at all. Matter of fact, I'm probably just going to till that in one day. But that's it, guys. Y'all see I ain't been big on the gardening this fall. I got back into archery hunting, and that's something that used to be in my blood. And when I started it back up, I hadn't really done it since about 2013 when I left to go off to work. And now I'm just now getting back into it, and it's done got in my blood, and that's what I'm wanting to do right now. I ain't wanting to garden. But as always, hope something I said and showed y'all helped you out. If it did, please leave me a thumbs up, a comment. And I appreciate y'all more than you know. See y'all next time.